couple weeks ago, we jumped on here on our live Thursday stream to talk about something that's really hot right now, no content and low content books, and how we've had success with them. But it left more questions than it did have answers. So today, we're going to start to clarify things. And Kelly, what are we going to do today?
Give you some ideas.
Yes, we're going to give you 5 profitable no content niches. And we're going to start right about
now.
Welcome to Self-Publishing with Dale
and Kelly.
And if you want to publish your message and build your brand, make sure that you turn your notifications, you got to subscribe first and then turn your notifications on so you get all of our latest content and you don't miss out on these Thursday live streams where we can interact with you, answer questions for you. And today's no exception. But before we do jump into things, I want to say that today's broadcast is brought to you in part by our friends over at Grammarly, the world's most accurate online grammar checkers. Now free, by the way, folks. Yes, you can still get a premium model, but the free one, I'm going to tell you, it's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
You can detect plagiarism, easily improve any text, eliminate grammar errors. To set up a free or premium account, simply head over to our affiliate link at selfpublishingwithdale.com/Grammarly. Once again, that is selfpublishingwithdale.com/Grammarly. And I want to let you guys know that this next week, yes, we're going to be talking about YouTube for publishers, starting a YouTube channel for writers. As you know, and of course you see us right now, we're prime example. And Kelly just set up herself one not too long ago as well. So we're going to tell you a few tips on how to get your channel started up and going. So that way you can hopefully reach your audience as well. So that's going to be this next week on June the 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure that you join us right here and we'll be able to answer all your questions, concerns, and comments. Definitely appreciate all the ideas that have been flooding in. Just real quick plug on a special interview. I'm going to be having some more guest expert interviews and I knew I was going to mess it up. Marco Motino is actually going to be popping in to share a little bit of 411 on Amazon Marketing Service ads. This guy is an AMS ads expert, and you guys don't want to miss out on this. That's going to be coming up here pretty soon. I'm going to remind you this coming week about June the 20th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right. It's going to be a little bit different. So those of you that are crossed the pond there over in the UK, you might be able to get this. It might be midday for you, so it's going to be a little bit different. So we're trying out some alternative times. Thank you very much to Marco, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. So who is in the chat right now, baby?
I see Kevin. Thanks for waking up for us today.
Yay, Kevin.
Jude, the reluctant introvert. Hi. Mickelson twins. Great video topic. I agree. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
Nafis. Kim here. What's up?
Kim here. What's happening? What's shaking? Good to see you. Yeah. Which, by the way, Mickelson twins. Which one of you are actually on here? Is it both of you guys?
And Monique and Ava, if she's lurking. Jacutie Pie.
Hey,
thank you for stopping in on your
good to see you.
vacation.
Oh, on your vacation.
And I think, if I missed anyone that's lurking, sorry. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. And listen, folks, load up your questions right now. And if you're watching this on the replay, please drop in a comment, a question, concern about what we're going to talk today. We're not going really too far down the rabbit hole here, but we're going to cover some pretty good stuff. You were getting ready to say?
Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Here we go, guys. You get entertainment right here between the husband and wife couple here. So really great to see everybody kind of tuning in today. You look like you're getting ready to say something there. I'm sorry.
John Wasser made me laugh. No content books sound like it's within my skill set.
Yes. Well, let's go ahead. Let's go back and let's talk a little bit about those no content books because we're going to discuss the 5 profitable no content niches. Now, folks, we just need to kind of do a little bit of a review of what exactly that is. And my slideshow is way off kilter here, so apologize here just for a second here, folks. We're going to have to just move this stuff on the fly. This is what we do on our live hangouts here. We make mistakes and we just try to roll with the punches here. Roll with them punches. All right, so here we go. All right, now that's a bit more readable. How about that? So just to review, what are no content and low content books, Kelly?
Stuff that really doesn't need much writing. It's an alternative to the traditional publishing model. People might think you're crazy when you tell them about this stuff, but it's not crazy. It's for reals.
Yeah. Blank concepts and, just an idea of like a fill in the interior. So a lot of people, unfortunately, they get this concept that it's just all blank pages. And that's not entirely true, is that right?
It's just a general term we use. If we told you all the books, we would be there for a while. So it's just a general term.
Right. Yeah, so there's going to be a few things. I mean, and let me just throw an example out. Writing prompt books. Those of you writers, put your hands up. Is there any writers in the group here? And those of you that need a little bit of a prompt, you obviously want to have something like a writing prompt book. And writing prompt books don't just have just a question. Typically, they'll have a question that further encourages you to write. So it's not necessarily just entirely blank. So hopefully you can kind of understand that it's not always just blank content. So that you understand it's just a little bit of an unorthodox way of publishing books. Not that it's unacceptable, it's just an unorthodox way of doing things. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, are no content and low content books legit, Kelly?
Totally legit and huge ROI.
Yeah. And why is that?
Because there's really not much expenses to it unless you hire a VA. I mean, case in point, my accountant told me to start spending more money.
Right. And you had a VA help you out in some of the interiors. So this really, it depends largely on how you use the information, of course. Anytime, is it going to be legit? Obviously, people can use this for nefarious purposes, but
right.
But if you currently use journals, diaries, notebooks, things like that, this is what we're serving. It's sure you're not writing a novel. But you don't always have to write a novel in order to produce good quality content that people want. You're producing a product that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
It
still serves a need.
Absolutely. Here's the question you got to say. When you're publishing no content and low content books, it's legit when you can answer this. Would I buy this?
Or you could ask yourself, would someone else buy this?
Would someone else buy this? That's the most important thing. There's going to be some things like, I'll just throw it out there. It's not like I want to have a bowel movement tracker book, Don't need that. But there is people out there that may want that as well. There's a freebie for you guys. You're welcome.
That wasn't even part of the 5.
That wasn't even part of the 5. How do we choose our niches today anyways, Kelly?
How do I choose them?
Yeah, so it's basically on our experience in publishing, correct?
Pretty much experience, I think, time of year. Mm-hmm. I research, what do people want this time of year? I'll throw out another freebie because it's almost, done for. Graduation. Yeah. I made thousands this year on graduation.
Yeah. And last year too.
Yeah, and last year. So just got to pay attention about, what's hot. The downside is once the season's done, you'll get a little bit of a dip. But if you're in this business long enough and have enough out there, dips may subside.
Yeah, and one of the things that I do want to point out too is that we don't have a crystal ball, but for the most part, we can detect patterns and things that typically are winning scenarios. So we look at something that may have longevity. So there's going to be a couple of them in here. You may have to kind of dig to find that diamond in the rough, but you will find that these are definitely going to make you a little bit of money if you do it right, of course. And the other thing that we really try to pay attention to is, is it somewhere in the top thousands in the bookstore on Amazon, or it carries consistent sales? So quite a bit of this is going to be based on our experience. Really, all 5 of them that we chose today were appropriate to that. Am I correct in saying that?
I think so. I don't remember what the 5 were.
I put the slides together, folks. We went out for Mod Pizza today, and we had kind of discussed what we were going to talk about today, but I did the slideshow without, you guys can tell, right? Because Kelly's like, all right.
I contributed, but I don't remember what they were.
So why don't you go ahead, I'm going to take number 5, because this is one of my favorite ones, is sketchbooks. Number 5, sketchbooks. Yeah, we're going to be counting down, because number 1 is going to singe your eyebrows. Number 5, sketchbooks. Now, this isn't just limited to, say, any one type of sketchbooks. I can give you an example, and this is one that's just really saturated right now. It's blank comic book templates. I've had some hits when it came to something like that because I'm a huge comic book nerd, and naturally I went ahead and fulfilled my own need, which I need to put one of those up on my shelves here. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? So sketchbooks can actually be quite profitable. Now, there's going to be some people out there that might be wondering, like, I put out a sketchbook, but I'm not making money. Not everything works. Am I correct in saying that?
You're very correct in saying that.
Have you put out sketchbooks?
Yes, one sold the other day.
Oh, congrats.
But most of my books out are just lines. So the majority of what I sell is going to be lines because that's what I have out the most. But I do sell them from time to time. It's not comics. It's just blank.
Blank. Mm-hmm. So that's something to kind of think of is, sketchbooks. That's a really good one. It's treated me really, really well. And the funny thing is, I was really selfishly serving myself when I went and put out something like this because I just love to doodle and I love to sit here and draw.
And if you feel like they're not selling, niche down even further. For example, if you really like comics, make a comic book for teen girls or, find that really obscure niche for comic books, and I'm sure there's still a need out there. I don't know what it is. I'm not a fan of comics, so I haven't researched it, but that's just true for any of these things.
Comic book for weightlifters. You're welcome, by the way.
You just never know.
There is actually
comic book for grannies.
See? So there's many ways we can shake it, make it, or bake it. Hopefully this kind of greases your wheels a little bit here, folks. The next one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this one from you, Kelly, because... this is one that I
haven't done any of this.
Name-based books, personalized ones. Have you guys, a show of hands, if you have ever been out on holiday, as some of you folks say overseas, if you've ever been on vacation, you've gone to a touristy spot like Las Vegas, one of our favorite spots, you typically will go into one of the shops, and what's one of the things that you see? Knickknacks with names on it. And for some reason, the light bulb went up off of my head, and I'm like, hey, I bet people would want to have a book just specifically with their name on it. Now, of course, the interior would kind of vary from time to time, but if you personalize something with someone's name, they're going to possibly purchase it. Now, I'm not saying that you go over and put out a book that says Dale L. Roberts. That's going to be silly because I may not buy it, although I'd take it. I would gladly take your book. But for the most part, when you're putting out books, think about popular names. And if you can kind of get that niche down there. So this is one of those ones, kind of like what Kelly says, is niche it down. And you'll probably be able to get it. So if you cross those niches, it could be something as simple as, art sketchbook for Charles, or a comic sketching book for David. We're going to throw things out there like that.
My name's Monique. What's your superpower?
Yes. Yes. You're welcome, Mojo. All right. So the next one here, man, I feel like I'm getting all of them today. But do you ever have any success with this one?
I don't have much out in sheet music. I have a little bit, and I have more now because I bought some templates, but...
Okay, so niche number 3 is sheet music. This one always kind of surprises people. I want you to think globally speaking here, folks. So we do have things like a stave. So for instance, blank sheet music for like a pianist or a clarinet player or a guitarist. There's even, if we go further down the well on this one, we can always just have like guitar chords. You can have tablature. Guitar tablature is something pretty big. And even something that's really hot is... people need somewhere to put their lyrics at. So there's going to be lyricists out there that want to put it down and they want to track that. So this one is gigantically huge. Now, bear in mind, there are some mainstays already in this business, in this particular area. So in order for you to really break ground, you're going to have to establish a very big brand. And if you use advertising and marketing and promoting just in the right way, you may be able to kind of slip in there and get yourself in there with those mainstays. Now, unfortunately, those people that create the sheet music are probably, the name slipped my mind right now, but you get the idea, hopefully.
If your sheet music isn't selling, put another twist on it, just like I said with the sketchbooks. Like, think of the instruments that guys typically play, like guitars. There's not tons of female guitarists, but there are some, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
maybe make guitar sheet music, but make a feminine cover. So,
Yes, that's
because
true.
like teen girls, when I was a kid, I didn't want boys' toys. So if you have a little girl who's playing the guitar, she doesn't want a boy cover. So, might help.
Yeah, and also think about specific genres. Somebody who's going to be playing, say, classical music is going to want to have something a little bit different than, say, someone who is into death metal. So, you can always just kind of niche things down like that. A metal AF sheet music for 7-string guitarists. Ooh, there you go. You guys are welcome there. At any rate, so. I know that Kelly's got the next couple ones because these ones, I'm telling you, it was hard to get her to part ways, but I tell you guys, I went ahead and gave her some pizza, so here we go. Here's one of her favorite ones.
Guest books. People love to party, and there's people dying every single day. So there's.
Why did you could have went with like getting married, like when we went through the Museum of Art the other day. Remember we saw a guest book.
Being serious though, I do have some wedding guest books out, and they don't sell because people want nice hardback books for their wedding. Yeah. So you can try it. There's always people that just want to soft cover, but. I'm being for reals. I do sell a lot of funeral guest books. Yeah. And I also sell a lot of other types of guest books because people love to party. So there you go.
And even a callback to what you had mentioned already before, graduation. That was something you had already said. So something to kind of build on. Hopefully you guys are taking notes. This is a lot of stuff. And we're going to address some of the questions here inside the chat very soon. I definitely want to hear what you guys got to say so far.
Sorry, Monique.
That was wrong. Well, So what other profitable no-content niches have you seen? Drop your thoughts and suggestions in the comments. We definitely would love to hear from you. We want to hear what your thoughts are on no-content books. Before we do jump into the number one, I'm telling you, this one was tough, guys. All right? I just finished up a week's worth of dishes for 50 likes on one of her videos. Ain't ponying up that much more, but I went ahead and sweetened it up with some pizza today. We're going to give you number one, but you got to stick around, all right? Stick around and invite some people in here because this one, it's going to kind of really singe your eyebrows and it's going to make Kelly cringe just a little bit telling you guys. But here's a banana sticker for Kelly. Everybody give her a round of applause. All right, before we jump into things, I just want to remind you that today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Grammarly, the world's most accurate online grammar checker. Head on over to our affiliate link to either get yourself a free or premium account at selfpublishingwithdale.com/Grammarly. Once again, that's selfpublishingwithdale.com/Grammarly. And then don't forget this next week. That is going to be June the 14th on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about YouTube for authors. Where do you want to start? Why do you want to do this? How easy it can be. And you're going to be getting it from not only an experienced person who's been around it for a couple of years and me, but also with Kelly, who's had her channel open for how long now, Kelly?
Maybe a month and a half to 2 months.
A month and a half to 2 months.
I think I have like 9 or 10 videos, maybe.
That's good. And nearly 400 subscribers, I think, at this point. So you're going to hear at both ends of those spectrums. So what does the chat have to say? Any good suggestions in here? I do Blank Book of Shadows. I see that already. Mojo, thank you very much for bringing that up.
There's another fun one out there. Chris Green has 50 Shades of Grey Cats.
50 Shades of Grey Cats.
That's another.
That's actually one of the OGs, if I can recall, before I was even getting into the whole niche. I remember him having that.
He's been all about Create Space for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I've kind of interworked the questions, but I don't know if Raw Dog's being for reals or just bringing up this point. I'm going to make thousands just by putting these up, right? All no content books sell, right?
That's a great question. So, Kelly, go ahead and address that.
I was trying to figure out the math in my head.
Yeah.
I have on Create Space roughly 4,600 books, and I want to say on average 20 to 30% sell every month. So
mine's probably closer to about 10 to 20% of mine. I don't have near the volume that she does, but it's enough to definitely pay the bills. Yeah, and I'll tell you, actually, we've actually got some friends that have tens of thousands up, and yeah, they're drawing a pretty good amount of money on it, but they don't have a good return on it. That's all the main
I would
thing.
say is if you find new niches, don't go too deep until you know they're proven.
Correct. Yeah. So in other words, you don't want to go, oh, I'm going to put out a Michael journal and I'm going to make a purple cover, black cover, or pink cover. I've seen people do this and they got 0 sales on every one of them. Try out an idea and then go deep on it if it is proven. In other words, you're getting a sale, 2 sales, 3 sales, 6 sales, 20 sales. You'll know when you've got a hit when you see 20 all of a sudden purchased all at once. That's one of the nice things about these type of books because they make for great gifts.
Yeah, Ava, I made this shirt after last week's stream, so thank you for the comment. Nafis, any ideas about the spamming regulation on crate space? I mean, I have seen tons of books with same design in various shapes. I know people who would do this.
Yeah.
I don't do this because as a customer, in my opinion, I think that gives the customer too many choices. And when the customer has too many choices, the chances of them not buying anything get higher and higher. Yeah. So I give them one choice. And if they don't like it, that's fine.
Yeah. Agreed.
I would rather, if I'm going to offer different sizes, this say a 6x9 lined and an 8.5 by 11 blank book, I'd rather make 2 separate covers to satisfy potentially 2 different audiences.
Yeah. If you're gonna go and do different iterations like that, I'd recommend that you actually host those particular things on your website separately. So let's say you have that Michael journal again, and it's in different shades. Make it available over on your website, and then drive traffic to something like that. That way, people have those type of things. Amazon is just such a loud space, and it's so noisy that there's no sense in adding to the noise. Don't. And here's the other thing: it's just stacking pennies at the end of the day. If you don't have something that's a proven concept, and you're doing 20 iterations of one specific type of book, you're just adding to the noise.
I mean, I do see their point. You never know what the customer is going to buy, but
yeah,
I just don't personally like it.
Yeah, I would rather go after different concepts than different iterations of one concept. So just kind of my 2 cents on that. Any other comments? Boy, the comments are popping today.
Just some comments.
Yeah.
Ava says 0% of mine sell, but she chooses saturated niches.
That's so important. Yeah. Here's fact. If you just put up something that's generic, it says journal on it, and then you try to keyword stuff it, most times it's not going to work. There's so many generic journals right now that for you to be heard above the noise, you're going to need a market already in place to purchase your books.
Or you got to make it something different, because I have a few journals out there that just say journal that do sell, but I put a different spin on it.
There you go.
So that's what it's all about.
Right.
Dog Dad is digging deeper in a well that journals. Good job. Crypto Merch Club, is every book a unique cover, or how many variations do you typically upload per design?
Much like we kind of said,
I think there's a delay. Yeah, that's what I do.
Right. We go for one iteration and move on. It's better to look at concepts and see if they sell rather than trying to split test. I kind of understand the idea. It's almost like having lead pages where you have different landing pages and you split test and see which one works best. Don't bother. Just, go all in. Go all in.
What's your price range? I would say 80 to 90% of my books are $6.99. And then if I have a really thick book, I just try to get a $2 profit. So that's normally going to be $9.99 to $12.99.
Yeah.
I have done some that are cheaper than $6.99, and I have mixed results. So $6.99 has been the price that's been my bread and butter.
Well, before we start to lose a little bit of the crowd, we're going to come back to you guys here in chat. So if you have some more questions, please keep loading them up, because we got one more. This actually might start to stir up even more laughter and chicanery in here. So let's go ahead and hit that last one here. Kelly, you go ahead and take it away.
Gag Gifts.
Gag Gifts, number 1. And, a lot of people are going to be like going, Gag Gifts? Like, what do you mean, like Gag Gifts, Kelly? PG, keep it family friendly. She's trying to choose her words specifically. If you've ever been to Spencer's or Hot Topics, let me know. Say inside the chat. If you've ever been to Spencer's or Hot Topics, you typically see something like that's like a gag. Like,
okay, my dog is cuter than your husband.
There we go. Hey, wow, that's actually a pretty good one. Someone's going to take that idea. My dog's, oh, I hope that you're not going to, somebody else is going to wear that around us.
Or my cat is cuter than your wife. Something like that.
Gag gifts, things like, touch this book and I'll punch you in the face. Something like that. Heck, there was even those best-selling books that actually were no content, like Reasons I Like Donald Trump.
And it was all blank inside.
Which, by the way, folks, I'm not talking politics, so please don't get all lit up, all right? I'm just saying that was a particular book that sold really well, and it had nothing in it. Reasons I Like Donald Trump, or Reasons I Should Vote for the Democratic Party. You can see how Gag Gifts can really, really be hot. Now, I want to say ahead of time, Kelly was not those, okay? That wasn't hers at all. Although that would have been nice. Those were making
because all I have to say is, Amazon customers like stuff shipped to their house.
Yeah.
But with Gag Gifts, you got to make something that's not out there. Why is someone going to buy your book? Make it unique and one of a kind thing, and there'll be no question that you can get some sales.
Wow. So. Ava says she wasn't allowed to go into Spencer's. You bad.
Gag gift. Bald is better.
Bald is better. Yeah. Hey, there's no joke about being bald. Oh. One of my t-shirts says, "My cat wants your dog for dinner." The graphic is a lion with its mouth open. Wow. See, yes, that's the idea.
Put that on a freaking journal. There's no rules that say you can't have the same design on merch and journal. There's two different audiences out there.
Julie Broad's in the house, which, by the way, you guys need to go check out Julie Broad's broadcast. Go ahead and trademark that, by the way, the Julie broadcast, over on Facebook every other Tuesday. At any rate, she says, Putting My Foot Down by Brent Underwood. Good classic case. That was another blank book that then actually went on to become a real book. He essentially was kind of testing the whole bestseller type theme or whatever, and it became a best-selling book because he chose these very niche down type things. I actually had a full video about that last year, I believe, is when I had talked about it. But that's a classic case of a blank book, no content book. Dude's foot, So it just kind of shows you with no content and low content books, if you've got imagination and you just think a little bit outside the box, there's a good chance that you'll make a significant income. I think that's why you enjoy it so much, is it sparks your creativity.
It's the absolutely best business if you're in a pissy mood. You can just, okay, here's another way to get ideas. Go to Pinterest, don't steal it because many people do.
Yeah.
And, just go to town, type in keywords, bad word phrases,
Yep.
stuff like that, and you'll have fun. I usually, after I do that, I'm in a much better mood.
Do you think having a brand site and mailing list matters for selling no content books? Having an author platform can certainly serve. So for instance, if I wanted to, since I'm in the fitness niche, I could always say, for instance, put an offer here in, I'm trying to point up in my book here, an offer into the book that says, hey, you want to track out your 90-day home workout plan? Then you may want to get this great fitness tracker specifically designed for the 90-day home workout plan. It's available here. And people can go ahead and order that physical copy and have it shipped to them. What I do tell people, though, is avoid putting no content books through Kindle. That's garbage. Some people are like, oh, but I got a downloadable thing. Listen, Amazon's snuffing that out, so don't even test them.
And if you see people doing it, don't copy them.
Yes.
Just don't do it.
Because other people are doing it doesn't mean you should be.
Yeah, that is a good one, Julie. Do it. Get it out there.
Yes.
For
everything I know about parenting.
And then put it totally blank. Do you think? Oh, you already answered that from Shalana. Sorry.
Yeah. Are your designs mostly just font or images or maybe patterns? What sells best for you? Man, I've got a mixture of both.
Depends on the niche.
Yeah.
Gag gifts, text for sure, hands down.
Text, yeah.
Guest books, a guest book isn't going to sell well with just font unless it's a creative type of font. Mm-hmm. I've sold some like that before. It just depends on your niche. Yeah. But keep it simple. The more complex you make it, the more chances you give someone to hate it. So.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, then you start to really, polarize yourself if you're going really complex. I've had some very complex covers, and some of them have been sleepers, and other ones are just complete duds. I had one that I took hours upon hours upon hours, and it didn't sell at all. But then for some reason, it just started picking up momentum, and then it was like before I knew it was selling hundreds of thousands per month. Not hundreds of thousands, hundreds to thousands per month. I was pretty darn happy with it that it finally did, but it's actually kind of slowed down and died down a little bit. If I throw a little bit of AMS ads on that, it'll probably work out really, really well. Yeah, good to know about Kindle. Yeah, once again, steer clear of doing the no content, low content stuff. If it is writing prompts and you've got some kind of substance to add to it, then that's probably going to be something good, or something of that nature, then that's cool. But if you're just simply putting in Kindle books that are lines and has like a graphic in the background and like download this PDF, no. I know some people have gotten slapped pretty hard on that one. Well, this has been a fun broadcast. Do you have any last words, Kelly?
I was just going to say to Crypto Merch Club, I cannot directly answer that because keywords are the key to sales and I can't give away my keys to that. However,
pay attention to her YouTube channel. She's going to be putting out some videos on keywords.
I do have a video on keywords on my YouTube channel about how I find them. So,
yeah, it's just a case of just knowing how to actually do keywords. So whatever you are using in practice for your ebooks, you'll want to do the same practice for your print books, but make sure that you're researching your keywords in the proper area. So if you're selling books, print books through the Amazon store, you're researching keywords in that specific type of category, not Kindle books. There's a little bit of overlap, but in instances like this where it's strictly on just bookstore, you want to focus on those keywords. So that'll kind of help you out.
We disagree on that, but stay tuned to my video. But that's all I have for today.
Who invited you anyway? All right, folks.
Thank you for stopping by, y'all.
If you happen to be watching this on the replay, definitely I appreciate you hanging around to the end. Make sure that you tune in this next week. We're going to be talking about YouTube for authors. In the meantime and in between time, if you enjoyed this video, hit the
thumbs up.
And if you enjoyed this video so much, I want you to share it with somebody else who would enjoy it too. In the meantime and in between time, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale
and Kelly.
And we'll see you soon.